What's up? Multiplier here for the last in my Ableton Basics series. This time it's on plugins, so it should be nice and short and sweet. So basically the plugins are all in this folder here under categories plugins. It's for Ableton Live 9 and if you're still in Live 8, plugins will be somewhere in the browser. I can't remember exactly where. But yeah, Live 9, just get it, it's better. And then plugins are nice and easy to find. And VSTs are going to be the ones you want to use. You can use audio units, I think, but yeah, just use VSTs if you're on a Mac and using Ableton. Not sure about Windows or other doors, but yeah, VSTs is the way to go. So how do you install a VST? If you get given just the raw .vst file, you have to navigate to your VST folder somewhere. Be somewhere on your Mac, probably under the library or something like that. Just search for VST and find the VST folder. Stick it in there and then go live, preferences, and then library, no, yeah, you go, file folder, plugin sources, rescan and then rescan, just in case it hasn't like automatically appeared in the list. But every time you load up live, I'm pretty sure it's set to like search for VSTs anyway, so that should be fine. Yep, and if not, like I say more often than not, especially from the decent plugin guys like Isotope and Native Instruments, they just give you like a .dmg file that kind of automatically installs itself and sticks the VST where it needs to go, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's basically how the VSTs work. How do they actually work in practice? Well, let's say we got an audio track, we drag it out, say we got Alloy, double click, and it's literally just like an effect, and you get your own special browser like window type thing where you can do whatever you want. Now if you click on somewhere else, by default it goes away. You can close it, you can do whatever you want, you can turn it off and on. You can if you're not unsure how to get it back after you've closed it, click that little spanner shape thing down here, look at the mouse, that brings it back. So you can always close it down and bring it back if it's in the way, because sometimes it is in the way. If you notice how once we've got it opened up, if I click in on another track, it automatically hides itself. Now if we go to live preferences, we can change that. If we go to, has it gone somewhere? There you go, look and feel. Where it says plugin windows, you see it says auto hide plugin windows. So if we don't want that to happen, we can simply turn it off. Similarly with multiple plugin windows, as you imagine, that allows you to have multiple plugin windows open at once. So depending on how you want to work and how you want to do things, just be aware you can change that behavior in preferences. But yeah, there's not really much to plugins. It's all kind of, I highly recommend getting some decent plugins once you've got to grips with Ableton and you feel like you want to do better stuff. Yeah, plugins are basically used by the pros especially all the time. It's just part of the culture of making music. You use plugins. Obviously don't use plugins just for the sake of it. If it's just a simple delay you want, you don't need anything fancy, just use simple delay. It'll be a lot stabler and a lot simpler, because plugins, as cool as they are, they do almost always use more CPU and RAM than the stock built-in effects. Now they are usually better result, but if you don't need anything that fancy, don't bother with a plugin. It's just gonna drain your computer a bit. And also plugins can cause Ableton to crash. So almost always whenever Ableton crashes, it's not as buggy as Logic, but when it does crash, it's probably because of a plugin, and it will say in the crash report which plugin it is. So even the best plugins out there will cause a little bit of instability to your system. So just be aware of that. Which is one reason why it's good to kind of buy the latest legit version of the plugin and not crack it. Saying that, I fully endorse torrenting or pirating plugins. If you're very new to producing and you're not even sure if you like it and you just want to play about, you're not too worried about like whether or not you're releasing music officially or making money off it, it's fine to torrent it, because you know what, most people out there, whether they admit it or not, do kind of pirate stuff at first, because music software is very expensive. And then obviously once you start using it after 6 months to a year, and maybe you start releasing stuff or putting out a lot of music, then maybe pay for all your music. And then, then start paying for all your kind of software when you kind of balance out your karma. So just kind of do what you think. I'm perfectly behind you cracking software, just providing you're not like making money off it off the back of cracked stuff. Because if you can afford to buy it, do buy it. But if you're just playing about, I fully expect you to all go out and pirate some plugins, because plugins make life so much easier. And they just do a lot better job. Like, for example, Isotope Ozone, I can do all my mastering in it, professional level, just a lot better. So that's plugins for you. Oh yeah, should show this one little quick thing. If you want to automate something in a plugin, now bear in mind, not all plugins allow you to automate everything. I'm not sure what Alloy allows me to automate, but let's have a go. If we click that little arrow down here, that opens it up, and then we can click configure, and then we can click something. Let's try something maybe like this. There you go. So now I've clicked something, it's appeared in here in configure. I can let go, and now when I drag this about, this changes the parameter in the plugin. So now I would automate this setting here in the way that I described a few videos back. So that's how you basically automate stuff in plugins. Click that arrow, click configure, and then click whichever thing you want to like automate. Now bear in mind, you can't automate everything in a plugin usually. It depends what the plugin people have allowed you to automate. So cool. I think that's it. Plugins, nice and simple. Short and sweet. This has been Multiplier's Ableton Basic series. I'm sure I've tried to keep the rambling down to a minimum just because I know that's what I'm known for. But yeah, I've tried to kind of give you a quick run through of everything Ableton. Now, obviously there's lots I couldn't show you, but I mean, I could literally spend a month just straight talking to you about all the little things in Ableton and every little setting and, oh, what does that do? And when you might use that and all that kind of ways to use things. But you know what? For a nice quick run through, hopefully that's been all right. And especially if this is the first kind of tutorial series you've watched, yeah, hopefully you've at least got some idea of how to use Ableton now. But the best thing is, honestly, just get into it. Don't be afraid of all these buttons. And the most important tip I have is don't get overwhelmed by the amount of stuff it can do. Just focus on one thing at a time. Learn one thing, use it a bit, learn another thing, use it a bit, and just keep learning. And then eventually it'll feel like home, because this feels like home to me now. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, been Multiplier. Hope you like it.